Hello, welcome to Lexi's Healthy Dynamic Life. I am Lexi, and on today's episode, I am honored to be interviewing Courtney Uncooked, raw vegan chef, diehard animal activist, human rights activist. Courtney, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to be here, and my dogs are happy to be here as well. You might hear them throughout the interview. But, ever since I met you at the Woodstock Fruit Festival, I just thought you were the coolest girl ever. And you told me your name was Lexi, and I said, you mean sexy Lexi, because you're just so awesome, and you're the best dancer. I don't know if everyone knows that. You're literally the best dancer I've ever seen. So anyway, I'm the excited one to be here. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. Flattery will get you everywhere. And I'm so excited to meet you too. You are so super funny, entertaining, lively, and just an amazing woman overall. Super grateful. Tell us where you're located and tell us a little about yourself. What are you doing?
So I live in Virginia Beach, Virginia, primarily. But I also have a place in Yogaville, Virginia. So I'm, usually half and half between Yogaville, Virginia and Virginia Beach, Virginia. They're complete opposites. One is the beach and just busy, busy, busy. And then Yogaville is in the middle of nowhere. And so, I just in between the two and I love it.
Awesome.
Very blessed. Yes.
So happy for you. That's such a great balance in life.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your lifestyle for eating and veganism, and how would you describe your diet and lifestyle, and how did you come to choose that?
So I've been vegan for almost 5 years, but I've been vegetarian forever. I saw one animal video it was a KFC video from a KFC chicken farm of farmers stomping on chickens and laughing. And I remembered at that moment that I had actually eaten at KFC before and had a broken chicken wing. And I connected the two and thought, oh my gosh, I've eaten one of those chickens that they're stomping on. And I puked, threw up, felt horrible, immediately connected the dots, and went to tell my parents, and I was like, you guys are not going to believe this. They're stomping on chickens. And they were like, yeah, we know. And I was like, what? And you've been feeding me this? So ever since then, I don't even know how long ago that was. I mean, it's been forever. I haven't eaten any meat, and I did not know about dairy. I literally believed that they milked the cows and loved the cows. And so I kept eating cheese and eggs, and, I didn't know that they killed the chickens when they can't, lay eggs anymore. They just kill them. Oh, that was nice. So I was actually in Asheville, North Carolina at a retreat surrounded by cow farms and cows everywhere. And I was there for 30 days. I was in a 30-day program. And I remember just hearing this awful screaming sound. And I, called the man who owned the retreat and said, what is that sound? It sounds like someone's dying in the woods. And he said, that's the sound of a mama cow when they take the baby. And I said, what do you mean take the baby? Where are they taking the baby? I thought that was a dairy farm. And he said, it was an organic dairy farm run by a couple of deadhead hippies. Super cool. I met them. Awesome people. And I said, why would they take the baby? And he said, to get the milk. How do you think how do you think we get milk? A mom has to be pregnant, and if they don't take the baby, then they can't get the milk. And I just remember feeling so stupid, like, duh, of course you have to be pregnant to get milk, Courtney, but that's, if people are just hearing that today for the first time, and somebody might be hearing that today for the first time, don't feel stupid, because there's a lot of high paid people. That's their job, is to keep that from you, to paint this pretty picture of rolling hills and rolling pastures and cows getting milked by Swiss maids with braids in their hair. And, that's what they're paid to do, but that's not the reality of it. The reality is all those years I was a vegetarian, I might as well have eaten meat because, you know, the dairy industry, they have to, number one, rape the cow to get the cow pregnant. And then they have to kidnap the cow's babies to take the milk. And then the babies, if they're boy, most of the times they get turned into veal. And if it's a girl, most of the time she gets turned back into a dairy cow who's raped and has her babies kidnapped. So I was like, oh my gosh, I am taking place in rape, kidnapping, murder, torture, because, you know, being veal is the worst thing ever. And I couldn't believe, and I've been vegetarian forever and an animal rights activist, and I still did not know that. But again, there's some very high paid, educated, skilled people who are not bad people. This is just their job. And, you know, that's another thing I've had to realize about the people that do this. They're not bad people. Here in Yogaville, all of my neighbors are cow farmers. I mean, I pass cows on my walk every day. You know, I see them one day, they're gone the next day. One day they don't have a number in their ear. The next day they do have a number in their ear. It's very sad, but I'm telling you, the people that own these places are the nicest people ever. They would do anything for anybody, for any human on earth, for you, for me. They would do anything. They just are not making the connection, you know, yet. And I say yet because I think that there is hope for them. They're just not making that connection between animals and us. You know, we are animals. Humans are animals. And it's hard. It's really hard to be vegan and to be empathetic in this world, because a lot of people don't get it. But I completely became vegan for animals, not for health. I'm not plant-based. It's not for the environment, although the environment and health are great byproducts of being vegan. That is not why I'm vegan. I am vegan because my grandmother told me, do unto others, Courtney. And it doesn't say do unto humans. It's do unto others. And that is the environment, the animals, everything. You know, she taught me, hey, before you do something, ask yourself, would I want this done to me? And if the answer is no, don't do it. And so I do that all the time. And the answer to most things I ask myself, totally outside of food, is no, 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 no. So it's, you know, I don't think I'm better than anybody. I don't have any great moral compass. I'm not this wonderful human being. I just, you know, I'm simply living by one principle that my grandma taught me, do unto others. And, you know, it's one thing if people don't know the truth, but when you know the truth, if you keep participating in that activity, that's something that you're going to have to answer for one day. You know, whatever your beliefs are, you know, if you believe in karma or not, you know, once you know the truth, that's a heavy burden and a heavy weight to have on your shoulders that I can't bear to have it. I mean, you know, and it goes for me, like, you know, just way more than diet. You know, like I've had friends who, you know, been cheating on their husbands, and I've said, look, I love you. I can't hang out with you, you know, because when you're cheating, I'm cheating. You know, you are your friends, you are your circle. It doesn't mean I'm better than them or judging them. I just wouldn't want to be cheated on. And so I can't, you know, take place in that. So I think, you know, in life, if everybody would do that, just do unto others, how simple is that? If we would just do that, would we be quarantined? Would the world be like this? Would we be where we're at, you know, right now? Probably not. So, yeah. And so as soon as I, you know, found out about the cow thing, so when the cow was crying, I actually went down to the farm, and they milked the cows by hand, playing Grateful Dead. And these kids were really, really cool. Just like my neighbors here in Yogaville are super cool. And I said, hey, I'm going to need you to give that baby cow back to the mom, because I got to get some sleep. I can't stand the sound. It's like breaking my heart. And they were like, the baby's gone. And I said, where did the baby go? And they said, we don't know. And we don't want to know. If we knew, we couldn't do it. And so, you know, they would sell the babies and they don't know if they got turned into veal or other dairy cows or meat, or, you know, they don't know where they went or who they went to. So then that's when I researched. Most of the time the boys become veal and the girls in the dairy industry become dairy cows again. So I found that out and told them, and they were like, why'd you tell us that? And I'm like, oh, you know. So yeah, I've been vegan ever since. That was about 5 years ago. I was at the Prama Wellness Center in Marshall, North Carolina, which is 30 minutes from Asheville. And that is a great place. They do juice cleanses there. And so I actually went there and was doing a 30-day juice cleanse. And at that time, I actually, you know, quit drinking alcohol, quit drinking caffeine, went vegan. I mean, I could just completely stopped everything. And I am so glad now, especially in this quarantine, that I don't drink alcohol either, because I would be drinking all the alcohol in all the world right now, because alcohol numbs your pain. And this is painful for a lot of people. Some of my friends are really enjoying it. And there are moments of this that I completely enjoy. You know, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. These have been some of the greatest and some of the worst days of my entire life. I mean, everything, you know, it's just such a spiritual cleansing and awakening for people. But yeah, if I was still drinking alcohol, it, you know, be a couple bottles a day. It would be all day long. I want to numb this, because this is some serious stuff coming out of me, emotionally. So, but, you know, and that goes back to the do unto others too. I mean, you know, in your body, your own body, with everything you put in your body. Again, not judging people who drink, because I am an alcoholic. I will drink all the alcohol in the world. I've actually chugged a bottle of Jägermeister before and partied all night long. Didn't pass out, didn't get, I mean, most human beings, that would kill them to literally chug a bottle of Jaeger. So never am I judging anyone. I am the last person. I also used to make fun of vegans. You know, and so I actually get a lot of flack from the vegan community, because I have a lot of friends who are hunters, meat market owners. One of my best friends owns a meat market, and, you know, now I have lots of cattle ranching friends. My neighbors here in Yogaville on both sides are hunters. They have hunting dogs, which I completely don't believe in. But just because I don't believe in their lifestyle, it doesn't mean that I don't believe in them and that I don't love them. And, you know, I believe, you know, that God created us in his image, and he forgives my sorry butt for everything I do. And I am not perfect. I am full of sin, just full of sin, even without drinking, smoking, and eating meat. I mean, I'm a freaking heathen. Okay. So, I'm just so blessed to even be alive. I'm almost 41 years old. I can't even believe I've made it this far in life. I never thought I would make it past 30 myself. Anyway, I keep rambling. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you touched on so many good points, Courtney, and I just love that you kept bringing up do unto others as you would have done to yourself. I mean, they call that the golden rule, after all. I think we all learned that in kindergarten, and somehow along the line we forget, or we create special boundaries, like, oh, I'll apply that to some areas of life. But it's such a good reminder, and I so appreciate you bringing that up.
Right. And I still do things that I know are wrong. You know, the other day I wanted a shirt and it was made in China, and I was like, gosh, this is probably made in a sweatshop. I probably shouldn't buy it, but the design's really cool. I'm going to do it. I mean, I am not perfect by any means. I struggle with moral dilemmas and situations every single day. I just want to make that clear. I'm a heathen. Doing my best. That's all any of us can do, is our very, very best, And so one of the things too about being friends with fishermen, hunters, I've got a lot of fishermen as friends too, is if you're, now my dogs are fighting. If you're really cool to these people, eventually I have had a lot of them actually go vegan or go vegetarian. People who said, I would never, ever, which is what I said, I would never do that. And now they're doing it. And if I had been Sally, animal rights activist, I can't even be friends with you because you kill animals, I wouldn't have been able to make a difference in their lives. And I've converted at least 100 people to veganism, and, in 5 years. And every vegan, they say, saves 100 animals a year. So 100 times 100 is what? Oh gosh, 10,000. So that's 10,000 animals a year. And, I think too, in this crazy world, everybody feels like there's nothing I can do. This world is so messed up. There's nothing I can do. Well, there sure is. You go vegan, you save 100 animals a year. And if you think about 100 animals, just think about the room you're sitting in, Lexi, of 100 cows, pigs, chickens, dogs. In other countries, they're eating dogs and they're eating cats and they're eating anything and everything. And, Americans are just outraged at these wet markets in Asia. Why are you outraged at them? When you're eating meat, I mean, that's, it's like, why is a cat or a dog different than a cow, a pig, or a chicken? Why is a white person different than a black person or an Asian person? I mean, it's all the same. And it's really speciesism. When you put one species above another species, it's just, in my opinion, like being racist. And, I think we all have some racism in us because unfortunately a lot of us were raised that way. It's in our culture, but I also think it's something that we're always trying to break free of and not, be prejudiced and be racist. And, it's a practice, just like with yoga. This is not something that I get it, I got it. I still think, of dogs higher than other animals. I wouldn't eat any of them, but still, if my dog dies versus one of the cows down the street, I'm going to be more upset about my dog. Or if my neighbor, it's still in me. This is how we were raised. How, it's just ingrained into us. So it's a practice. This is going to be something that we're doing for the rest of our life. If I see, yesterday I saw a snake that had gotten run over by a car. I'm not going to feel the same about a snake as if I see a dog getting run over by a car. But why? Why do I not feel the same? That's God's creation. God put that snake on earth. The snake has a purpose. The snake eats mice, which keeps them from coming in your house. It's a huge circle of life, and any sort of death in the animal world, human world, should be equally sad. So yeah,
those are awesome points. And it brought me back to what you said earlier about when the dairy farmers took away the baby cows and a lot of the male baby cows turned into veal. And that's one way that the industry disguises the fact that we're eating animals by changing the language, calling it veal, pork,
yes,
poultry. It dissociates me
yeah,
from the fact that it's an animal. And I just feel like I can really resonate with your story when I found out, like, wow, I'm actually eating an animal. I felt so much guilt, and it felt so heavy on my body and my mind. And
now when was that for you? How long ago?
That was just a year ago. So I had been doing that for nearly 30 years, Courtney. And I felt so incredibly guilty. But I love what you said, like, to forgive myself and to forgive everyone, and just to take the action to rectify that and to keep life going where my actions are aligned with my values. So I really appreciate you saying that.
And to love the people who aren't where we're at yet, and to keep loving them till the day they die, whether they get there or not. Because this world needs love. We don't need hate. We don't need to look down on people and judge people. We just need to educate and love and leave the rest in God's hands. That's all we can do.
A message of love. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool that you came to veganism for the animals as an activist for your love of all beings. Now, I'm curious, what led you to explore raw vegan? Why raw?
Okay, so I honestly did not even know raw veganism was a thing until the Woodstock Fruit Festival. I only knew of Fully Raw Christina, and I love her. I just have to say, I love her. I think she's awesome. But I always, I honestly thought, oh, poor girl, won't even eat any cooked. I felt sorry for her. And I thought it was just like something wrong with her. Like, why won't she cook her food? Bless her. Somebody needs to make her a good meal. And then I went to the fruit festival and ate raw for a week, and I thought, oh, poor me, who hasn't been raw. This Fully Raw Christina knows what she's doing. And isn't that funny? Until our eyes are really open, how we can judge other people. And I really felt sorry for Fully Raw Christina. I thought she was the only raw vegan in the world. Bless her heart. God invented stoves and ovens and fire for a reason, Christina. But yeah, when I ate raw for 1 week at the fruit festival, and it was just like, I've never felt better. It's sorry, poop didn't stink. It was great. I've never slept better. I've never felt better. I was smiling the whole time, laughing the whole time. And so, unfortunately, being vegan is not enough, because today vegans have cakes, cookies, pies, hot dogs, burgers. You can be more. I know a vegan who weighs almost 500 pounds. I struggle with my weight. I struggle with overeating, and it's not the way. We all should be plant-based vegans, and a plant-based vegan, like a raw vegan, is going to eat the plants, the vegetables, not the processed breads, cakes, cookies, and stuff. So that's what I was eating. On my way to the fruit festival, I stopped at Burger King and had myself a what is it? The Whopper, the vegan Whopper things. Is it Beyond? No, it's the Impossible Whopper. The Impossible Whopper. That's what I had on my way there, with some fries, because I knew in the back of my mind that I was going to be changed, and I thought, man, I better get this out. So I had a large fry and a Whopper, and I even had a Coke. I didn't even really drink Coke, but I thought, man, I'm really going to get this out of my system, because these hippies are probably going to do a number on me. And I was right, because I've never been the same since. And I don't know, have you ever had an Impossible Whopper?
No.
Okay. So when they first came out, I had one just to try it. And then I don't know what they put in that. I had to have one every single day. If I didn't get the Impossible, and they made me feel awful. There was nothing good about it. Every single day I had to have it. I wasn't complete, I'd have it and I'd be like, it's kind of like when I smoke cigarettes. When you smoke that cigarette, you're finally like, you get a moment of relief. And it was bad. I was addicted to Impossible Whoppers, and now I'm like the complete opposite of that. So when I was at the fruit festival, what I did was I decided, there's so many choices of what to do every day, kind of like college. You can go to this, you can go to dance class or acro yoga class, or a recipe class, a live cooking demo class. And I spent every single moment of my time there in raw vegan cooking demos, because I felt so good. I said, I need to take this knowledge home. yes, I want to dance with sexy Lexi and have a great time here, but I've got to get this knowledge. And you and I were actually in the dance thing together. And I quit, and I'm not a quitter, but I quit because I was just like, I need this knowledge. I have to take this home. And I'd never been exposed to anything like that in my life. And so I saw, you know, amazing vegan chefs cooking, uncooking, all kinds of things. And I brought that back with me. And I just, when I came home, I thirsted and yearned for more knowledge. I thought there's got to be more. And I didn't know enough after 1 week to keep going. And so I found a raw vegan chef study course online called Pure Joy Academy. And I enrolled myself in that and went to school online and became a chef. And then now I'm working on my intermediate raw vegan chef certification just to get that knowledge. And so I, you know, I went to journalism school. I've always, you know, like you said, I'm a comedian. And so, you know, one of my friends was just like, you should really just do your own show with this. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to just show one raw vegan recipe for free each week. And, you know, just try to change the world one bite at a time while having fun, laughing, and having a good time. And so each week I have a different guest. And so like you, where do you live?
Connecticut.
That's right. So I would love to have you on my show, but you're so far away. So what I like to do when people are far away is like, if you'll send me one of your favorite raw vegan recipes, I feature you, I show the picture of Sexy Lexi and say, Sexy Lexi sent me this recipe. She's amazing. Here's her picture. And then I kind of, you know, we do it anyway, even though you're not with me. So, you know, nobody wants to look at me every week. So I try to have a different guest on every week. And that guest is either showing me how to do something, or I'm showing them how to do something, or me and that guest are figuring out your recipe. So kind of one of those three things. And it's just been really fun. It's been hard in the quarantine. I'm getting turned down. My friends are like, yeah, how about next month I'll be on your show? I mean, people just aren't even wanting to leave their house. So I have an episode coming up where one of my dogs, Cupid, is actually the guest. And my rap is about how I'm losing it in quarantine. Like now my dogs are my guests, my invisible friends. I'm going to have my teddy bear on the next show, probably. Look at these guys. Can y'all be good? You're on TV. Come on. You're on TV. Come on. Come on. Oh. They just play all day. They love having me here too, you know, because they're used to me going out and working and not being home. And so they're just spoiled rotten. But yeah, so the show's been really, really fun. And it is challenging now, but you know, I feel the need. I really, you know, honestly, I just want to take a break during this time because it's hard to get guests. Heck, it's hard to get food. It's hard to go to the grocery store now. But I really, you know, just feel, you know, something telling me, no, don't stop, Courtney. This is when people need this. And so I'm going to keep going as long as I can. But I would love for people, your viewers and listeners, to check it out. It's Courtney Uncooked on Facebook, Courtney Uncooked on Instagram, and then I have my own YouTube channel, Courtney Uncooked. And if you subscribe and hit the notification bell on my YouTube channel, then you get, you know, the free raw vegan recipes sent to you each week, each Monday. And I chose Monday because, do you remember, well, you're pretty young, but Monday Night Raw, it was a wrestling thing. It was a the WWE of pro wrestling. They used to do Monday Night Raw, and there'd be a big fake wrestling match every Monday night. So I thought Monday Night Raw, every Monday I'll bring a raw recipe. So that's kind of how I chose that day. But I do a different guest every week, a different recipe every week, and then I freestyle rap at the end of every show about the recipe that we made. So it's a lot of fun. And yeah, just pray for me during this time that I can get guests and come up with good recipes. I mean, honestly, I'm not feeling so inspired. So if you want to send me some recipes, and easy too, I'm really looking for easy recipes right now. That would be great. And then that's another thing, I've gotten a lot of letters from people saying, there's no ego here. I'm not some great know-all be-all just because now I'm a certified raw vegan chef. I don't know anything. I'm learning all the time. I have guests on the show me things all the time. Like, for instance, I just learned this. You can get coconut milk in cans, right? If you put that coconut milk in your refrigerator, it solidifies and becomes whipped cream. You just pour out the liquid and then you have whipped cream. Here I am figuring out all these whipped cream recipes and doing all this stuff. And all you have to do is put a can of coconut milk in the refrigerator and you have whipped cream. So I'm just learning. And that's actually on today's episode. Today, a new one will come out and I talk about that on there. So it's just really cool. I just learn a lot. No ego, no judgment. I'm the first to say, I don't even know how to hardly chop vegetables. But you don't have to. You don't have to be able to do these things pretty or correctly. A tomato still tastes like a tomato, whether it's chopped up ugly or chopped up pretty. And so that's what I really want to bring to people, is you don't have to be perfect. And, not just in your cooking, but in life. I don't have to be the prettiest person. I don't have to be the most talented. My raps don't have to be great. I don't have to always be funny. We can be human. You can be vulnerable and be sad during this time. There's a couple times on the show that I really get choked up, because we're human. And just to really, love yourself. And, when you say do unto others too, and do unto yourself mentally. Love yourself. Love your tiny boobs and your big butt and your gray hair and your pimples or whatever it is. I mean, we are all human and nobody's perfect. And I have friends that look like supermodels and I have more confidence than they do. And I say, ladies, this is sad. It's all in here. You're the God of your own world. You can feel free right now, or you can feel trapped. You can feel pretty, or you can feel ugly. You can feel smart, or you can, it's all up to you how you feel and how you deal with your life. And again, that's a practice. I don't wake up every day loving myself. And, I think terrible thoughts about myself, and then I have to stop myself and move on. Like if I think like this morning I was thinking, oh my God, I'm going on Lexi's show, I don't look good. I've gained 10 pounds since this quarantine, and I don't, but everybody's gained weight, everybody's sitting at home eat, it's like but I have to stop myself, because if somebody was talking about you and said, oh my God, Lexi gained 10 pounds, I don't even, I would be like, be quiet. It doesn't matter. I would stick up for you. And we have to stick up for ourselves against ourselves. I mean, that's really what I've found, is I am a bully to myself. I am so mean to myself, but I stop it, and I have to stop it 10 times a day, every day. I'll be making a recipe and I'll try it and it'll be terrible. And I'll think, what are you doing? Who do you think you are? Why do you think you're a raw chef? Why do you think you can do this? There's been people who've been doing this their whole life. You're a joke. I mean, the things that I think about myself are god awful, but it's a practice. I stop myself and then I try to say one nice thing to myself at least, and then keep going. Because you're never going to stop having negative thoughts about yourself. That's the devil. And that's what he does, is gets in your mind and makes you think all this stuff. And so it's going to be a constant thing. It's never going to go away. So what can also never go away is you stopping it and sticking up for yourself and being your advocate and not letting yourself bully yourself.
I love it. So many juicy, good nuggets of advice in there, Courtney. Again, just the message of self-love and forgiveness and taking action to give oneself love to continue to grow.
Yeah.
So good.
And others, loving others, loving yourself, not judging yourself, not judging others, educating others, always educating. And never, whenever my friends who are fishermen post their post on Facebook of their bloody fish and stuff, I always put a frowny face in the post. 1, 2, 3, or 4. I mean, I don't say, you're awful, oh my God, what are you doing? But I'm always going to let them know that I see them, I'm there, and, it's not cool, but I still love you. I still love you. Just like me buying shirts from sweatshops isn't cool. I hope you still love me, and I'm working on that diligently. But yeah, I still love myself, no matter how much of a heathen I am, and everybody else. And that's, when I first became vegan, that was not true. I was very, very angry. Most vegans, especially, it's like all of a sudden you learn the truth and you're mad. Like, hey, everybody, come with me. Guys, this isn't right. Why aren't you with me now? Well, why weren't you with your friends who were vegan and vegetarian before? I mean, why did it take you 30 years? Why did it take me however many years? So that's what you have to remember, is where you came from, Never forget where you came from, because you could go back there at any moment.
I love you, Courtney, that's for sure. And I just love, love, love to watch your show, Courtney. Super fun, just like you said. Super funny. I love the wraps. It's so cool to see all the guests on your show and learn new recipes every Monday. Super inspiring.
Will you send me one today?
Yeah, totally. It's on
an easy one? Fun and easy? Okay, cool.
Fun and
or
easy.
2 or 3.
I'll totally do that.
Yay.
But it's so cool to hear your story about how going to this festival, eating raw for a week, led you to feel so good and so inspired that you made it a decision to become a raw vegan chef as a result. And now I'm just wondering, what are the top, 3 to 5 benefits of eating raw as opposed to just being vegan or just being cooked plant-based? Why do you stick with it?
Well, in a time like today, you got to think about, well, what if you don't have any power? What if, in Virginia Beach, a lot of the town right now does not have power. Well, if you're raw, you don't need it. You don't need a stove. You don't need an oven. You don't need a Vitamix or even a dehydrator. Most of my recipes don't have any of that stuff. So that's cool today. When you're raw, you get all the nutrients from the food. I mean, I thought I was healthy before, cooking broccoli and cauliflower and drenching it in butter, vegan butter, but you're just killing all the nutrients. So you definitely get, all the vitamins and minerals. And it's so funny that our country is obsessed with protein. Our country needs to be obsessed with vitamins and minerals. Those are way more important than protein. And I can tell you, because I have many cow friends, that my cow friends get their protein from grass. So why don't we just get our protein from grass? Why are we eating the middleman? It's kind of freaky when you think about it. We are eating the middleman with all this stuff that's not good for us, filling our bodies with cholesterol and blocking up our arteries when we could just eat the grass. And eating the grass isn't fun. Hey guys, eating the grass isn't that fun and exciting, but it is. If you this is Roxy. She loves being on TV. She's going to be a good girl. Are you going to be a good girl? Yeah, she's going to be a good girl. So if you learn, you know, how to make the grass into, there's all kinds of fun things you can do with the grass, which is, you know, why I went to the festival, why I went to all the food demos, why you could watch the show and I bring you one recipe a week so that you can learn. Because yes, without the knowledge, eating that grass is no fun, but with a little bit of knowledge and direction, there's so much you can do with that grass. So, you know, when you're raw, you're not losing the vitamins and minerals. You don't need power to cook. The time is a lot less. You're not smelling up your house with all the cooking fumes and stuff. I'm also in real estate. I'm a real estate agent. And, you know, actually the value of homes go down, that people cook in a lot because the smells get absorbed into the furniture and the walls and everything. And it literally can make the value go down of a house by cooking in your home. Can you believe that? Also, especially when you fry things, that's not good for you. Not just eating it, but breathing in the fumes. You know, they say that one of the most professions that has lung cancer are cooks that are on fryers. I mean, can you imagine frying things all day long and breathing that in? So that's another thing. You know, bacon is worse for you because of the fumes that come off the bacon. It's not even eating it. Bacon is very, very carcinogenic. So you're not getting, you know, yes, you're cooking, when you cook your food, you're killing the nutrients and vitamins, but you're also breathing in all that stuff. And that smell is getting all over your house. And sure, sometimes at that moment it smells good, but later, you know, bacon smell the next day does not smell good in your house. So I remember growing up, we had a grease can in our kitchen, a coffee can that we would pour grease in from our bacon. And did you have one too?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So none of that. The time to make things is a lot less when you're cooking raw, and you just feel better. You are what you eat, and when you eat raw, you're eating life. And you know, when you're vegan, you're not necessarily eating life. If you're eating something, you know, a Beyond Burger or something that was cooked, you know, there's no life in that. But there's life in these, you know, nuts and fruits and vegetables. And look at her now. And also, your dogs don't go crazy when you're raw cooking because they can't smell it like they will when you're cooking. So you have better behaved pets. You're not right. But I am not. Are you 100% raw vegan?
I am.
Yeah. So I want to be so bad. I'm 80% raw vegan. I know that's the way to go. I have a lot of friends who own restaurants who are like, I have some friends that are like the best vegan chefs on earth, and they would kill me if I never ate their food again. So in my home, I don't, you know, cook anything. Everything's raw vegan. But sometimes I will go out and, you know, I'm vegan and gluten-free. So I've trained so many people for so long to make me good vegan, gluten-free food. So now if I told them it had to be raw, they'd just be like, get out, get out. So yeah, sometimes I eat some delicious vegan food, but again, never at my house. I'm not making it, and I'm looking at it like a treat. I mean, it's an indulgence. It's a splurge. It's not good for me. I don't feel good after I do it. Just like, you know, if you ate a bunch of donuts or, you know, anything bad, you're not going to feel good in the moment. I feel great and it's fun. Just like drinking alcohol, you know, in the moment it's good. And then the next day you have a hangover and you feel like crap. So, it is definitely something I'm working on, but I don't think, you know, I struggle enough with not smoking cigarettes and not drinking alcohol. Food is my drug. And so my main point in life right now has to be not drinking and not smoking. You see what I'm saying? Like for me, if I was all, I need that, I need to be bad. I'm a bad girl. And so now I can go be bad and have a burger every now and then, not an Impossible Burger from Burger King. Won't be having any of those anymore. But yeah, so I recognize that, not eating raw vegan, it does not make me feel good. It's actually like probably a form of self-abuse that I do to myself. But again, especially during this quarantine time, my big focus is don't pick up alcohol, don't pick up alcohol, don't pick up alcohol, if that makes sense. But I'll definitely work to get there to be, but I just don't know if I would ever be 100% because it's just very socially isolating. I mean, if you go to a party, yes, you can make your own food, you can take your own food to a party, but what if you don't have time? Okay. And then you go there, you're just not going to eat. And, you'd probably say, yeah, I wouldn't eat anything. I'm not like that though. I don't like to be left out. Again, these are my issues that I need to work on and that I'm working through. But if I went to a party, I mean, I already feel like, well, man, I can't drink or smoke and now I can't eat. This sucks. And I don't want to feel like that. I want to feel good. I want to feel, I still have that. I want to be part of the group and I'm already so removed. I mean, most of my friends are not vegan. They all drink, they all smoke, most of them, and eat meat. So I'm already like so far removed, I don't know. It's just something I need to work on, but I do feel that 100% raw veganism is the way to go. If the whole world would do it, I think it'd be easier for me to do it. But I'm so proud of you. How long have you done it?
I started in February of 2019, and unlike you, my goal was solely to lose weight. And along the way, I woke up to the realities of the animal abuse and the environment. It's kind of a backwards
cool
motivation.
Doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you get there. Oh, and then I forgot to say that when I went vegan, my parents convinced me, I wouldn't live past 40 because I wouldn't be getting the protein and the nutrients that I needed. And I decided I was okay with that. I didn't want to have that on my conscience and in my heart. And I was okay. I said, well, Jesus died on a cross. So, if I don't make it past 40, so be it. So I remember the day that I figured out that it was all a lie, and that not eating animals was actually better for you, and that I'd probably live forever. And I just sobbed and wept probably for 3 days. I was so happy because I really was prepared to never make it to 40. I'm about to be 41 in a few weeks. I feel great, better than ever. But yeah, it was 100% for the animals, but I'm so glad that it is for health. And it is, I mean, even the American government has now admitted that a plant-based diet is the way to go. I mean, if the US government is admitting that, that's something huge. So yeah, that was a great day in my life when I found that out.
Absolutely, what a win. And like you said, the government admitting that a plant-based diet is recommended and the way to go is a win. And like you said, the fact that eating plant-based, eating raw vegan is a win for the animals, for the environment, for our own health is a win-win-win. And everything's better when we all win.
The only win I would say that is not achieved for veganism is people thinking being vegan is enough. Being vegan is not enough. You've got to be a healthy vegan. So many people say, I tried veganism for a month or 3 months and I felt awful and I went back. Well, of course you did. When we talk about what you ate during that month, I'm like, oh my gosh. So There's definitely an art to being vegan. You didn't learn how to eat meat overnight. You're not going to learn how to be a vegan overnight. It is not going to be easy. It is a tough transition, but it is worth it. It's worth it mentally, spiritually, physically. Your karma, just like I win every raffle I'm ever in, every prize, people are like, how do you win everything? I'm like, because I got good karma, baby. I'm not messing, I'm putting all good vibes into the world. And so I get that coming back to me. And so, if you're struggling today, and thinking, gosh, I could never go vegan. My husband was a pro fisherman. People used to give him $500 cash to take them fishing. He was a kayak fisherman, to take him to these special fishing spots. I mean, he was that good, 500 cash. So when he went vegan, we lost a lot of money. I mean, it was like, when he first went vegan, he said, I'm going to keep the fishing business and I'm just going to do catch and release. And I said, okay, great. Yes, let's do that. Let's do catch and release, because I like lots of money, right? And so all of a sudden he would be catching these fish, and when he would go to release them, the hook would go in wrong or something would happen, and he knew that fish was going to die. And that had never happened to him before. Well, first of all, he wasn't ever releasing them before. He was bringing them home and eating them. So then he starts trying to release them, and he's like, one by one. And he just came home one day and he said, I can't do it. I can't do it. If I'm not going to eat these, this is stupid. Why am I going to go out there and torture fish? I said, honey, yes, you can, and you will. Get back out there. It was a fluke. And he said, no, I really can't do it. And I said, okay. So he was really depressed for probably 3 or 4 months, because he has been fishing since he's a baby. They literally have baby pictures of him with a rod and reel in his hand. And he didn't grow up in a fishing family. It just came out of him from somewhere. I don't know. He's the only one in his family who is a fisherman. So he was depressed for months and months. And then he came home one day and he had this huge smile on his face. And he was like, hey, can I buy a very expensive racing paddleboard? And I said, yes, you can. He was like, really? Because it was a lot. And I said, yes, anything to make you not be depressed. So then he became a paddleboard racer and entered all these paddleboard races, and would still see the fish and take pictures of the fish and pictures of the dolphins and participate and still be out on the water, which he loved, just in a totally different way. And no, not making $500 cash, but it's crazy how the Lord blessed us and has made up for that money in other ways, because we did the right thing. So it's kind of like, and he would always say that, like, let's just do the right thing. Everything will fall into place. And he was right. It did. So, when people say, I can't go vegan, I'm a pro fisherman, or I'm a hunter, or I'm this, it doesn't matter who you are. If you have a big, beautiful heart, when you find out the truth, yes, it's going to suck for a while. It's going to be sad. It's going to be hard to eat. You're going to eat a lot of crappy things. It's an adjustment period, but it is worth it, because you're going to be happy and have good karma. And when your world is falling apart and you can't even leave your home and you're so depressed, you're going to know that you're making the world a better place by saving at least 100 animals a year. Every other vegan saves 100 animals a year. And how many humans are you saving? And you're saving yourself in a heart attack or stroke, or any sort of health issues, if you're a healthy plant-based vegan. But at first, don't worry about that. I tell people, when you go vegan, eat the cakes, the cookies, the pies, the hot dogs, the burgers. That's what they're there for. I believe all that stuff is there to convert you to be a vegan, so that you realize, wow, I don't have to miss out on anything. I can get, oh, are you still there? I had a call, but I had to press ignore. I don't have to miss out on anything. I can get everything, being a vegan. Then once you're comfortable being a vegan, if you want to get into raw veganism, you learn the same thing. Whoa, raw vegans have cakes, cookies, pies, burgers, meatballs, and all that stuff too. But at first, I would say definitely just worry about being a vegan, being plant-based. Don't worry about being raw. Get that under your belt. And then once you have that, come talk to Sexy Lexi. Come talk to Courtney Uncooked, and we'll help you with that transition after you're vegan. Don't beat yourself up at first.
Good advice.
And if you make money, if you, like my farmer neighbors, they make all their income, with cows. If they want to give up cows, we can grow hemp on their land. And happy 420, by the way. We can grow hemp on their land, soybeans, God is always going to provide for us. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a struggle at first, but the payoff in the end from doing the right thing, it always pays off in the end. If you can make it through the struggle, if you can make the hard decisions, it'll pay off in the end.
Mm-hmm. Loving the message of love over fear. Absolutely, because financial struggles are real and people don't want to lose their source of income, right, no matter what it comes from. So to hear that story about how your husband was still able to enjoy his love of being out on the water and being with fish without harming them is just so amazing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then, our income being made up for more than that without even trying, things just falling into our lap. And that's what happens when you clean up your karma. Things just fall in your lap,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned that being vegan isn't enough to be living healthfully and vibrantly. Mm-hmm. What are the top 3 tips you would give to someone to achieve that energy and health and vitality that you experienced at the Woodstock Fruit Festival?
Well, I definitely think that exercise is important. You have to move. Before the quarantine, I would go to yoga every single day, and I would go to the gym every day. Now I walk for 45 minutes a day. So my activity level is way down. But, I would say at least move for 40, as I walk past the cows, move every day, 45 minutes to an hour every day. But my problem before was that, you can never work out a bad diet. And so I would work out a ton and then just overeat and eat whatever I wanted and, be frustrated. How am I gaining weight? When I go to the gym every day, I'm kayaking, paddleboarding, surfing every day, doing yoga every day, and gaining this weight. Well, you can't work out a bad diet. Diet is 80%, working out is 20%. So you got to move, but then, number 2, eating healthy, eating plant-based, at least 80-20. Definitely if you can work up to 100% like Sexy Lexi, that is the way to go. But more realistically, 80% whole, raw, vegan foods, plant-based. And then, make that 20% not even bad stuff like, beans and rice. That's what I'm talking about for that 20%. I'm not saying cakes, cookies, pies and stuff. But, if you could start off at least with 80% raw and 20% cooked, that's a good thing. And the third one, would probably be yoga and a spiritual practice, whatever religion you are, to get into tune with that. And do you know anything about Yogaville, Lexi?
Tell us.
Okay, so Yogaville is like one of the most magical places on earth. There is a giant lotus shrine here that honors every religion, including atheist, because being atheist is a religion because you're believing in nothing. So you're still a belief. So we have people come from all over the world here to pray and meditate together. Catholics, Christians, Muslims, Jews, I mean, every religion possible. And, at every religion, everybody believes in one main God. Even the Hindu religion, they have hundreds of gods, but one main God. So we all believe in one main God, right? So, instead of letting religion divide us, why not come together and pray and be together? And, even in the Christian religion, we say we only believe in one God, and that's not true. We make food God, we make alcohol God, we make our sex partners God, and our dogs God, and we got a lot of gods too. We have a lot of things we worship, and then we have God. So it's a beautiful place where everyone, can come together and just worship, pray, meditate together in peace. And here is where I've learned too my tolerance for fishermen, hunters, ranchers, meat market owners, because we all believe in the same thing too, and nobody can deny that you feel good when you're full of love, right? I mean, no one can deny that. So that's why we all just got to be filled with love for each other all the time, and a lot of stuff that's going on. I have people ask me, are you Republican or Democrat? I am neither. And that's part of, what's going on with this country too, is they want to divide us. You have to choose. Am I a Republican? Am I a Democrat? And if I'm one or the other, I'm against them. No, I'm for the right thing. The right thing. I'm for the humane party. That's what I am. And I'm definitely not Republican or Democrat. I want to see the right thing happen. I want to see solar power. Solar power is 100%. All of our homes could be powered by solar power right now. All of our cars, they have the technology, they know how to do it. But instead, we've got this oil thing and people wanting money, and it's Republicans and Democrats, unfortunately, participating in the oil game and the energy crisis. And I am neither one. I am for the right thing and the best thing for the environment. And so, I think that's another thing we have to do is quit labeling ourselves and just do the right thing. Because I don't think anybody really fits into, all or nothing in either one of those categories. But unfortunately, we've only had 2 presidents in our history try to get rid of Republican and Democrats and bring the countries together. And those 2 presidents were Lincoln and JFK. And you know what happened to Lincoln and JFK? They got assassinated. So we, may have to rise up as a people collectively and say, look, enough is enough. We all want solar power. We're sick of the wars. We're sick of the energy crisis. We don't want the pipelines. We don't want all these factories. Let's all do the right thing. But it's going to take a rising up. Mm-hmm.
A lot of things going on in the world, that is for sure. And a lot of things that we can do, little action steps that we can take to do the right thing and make ourselves healthier and make the world a better place one by one. Mm-hmm. One thing is going vegan, and you brought up 3 great tips for our listeners to stay happy and healthy, get some exercise, eat a plant-based diet, at least 80% raw. I love that. And incorporate some form of spirituality or expression of love and acceptance. All amazing pieces of advice. I love, love, love it all. And for our last question today, perhaps my favorite, because it brings us back to food. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One food for the rest of my life? Gosh, I feel like I have to get, oh gosh. What would yours be?
Whoa.
I have to think about mine. Gosh.
I would probably pick bananas because of their versatility. You can slice them, I can mash them, I can eat them whole, and they're super easy and cheap. You can make nice cream. I'd probably go with bananas.
All right, I'm going to go with avocados as my healthy answer. And then my unhealthy answer, I'm going to go with tomato sandwiches. You
Okay.
know, my 80-20.
Yeah, a little sandwich with avocado as the bun and tomato as the filling, or vice versa.
Yes, okay, let's do that. That's what I want. Yes, yes. But avocados, oh, they're so good. They're so good. And those things that we had at the fruit festivals, those sapotes, those are, yeah, I could probably live off those too, but I'm still gonna have to go with, I'll go with avocado. Yeah.
Such a good choice. Creamy
So good.
deliciousness.
I actually went to Mexico many years ago for a week at an all-inclusive place, and they had the best guacamole. And I ate nothing but chips and that guacamole for a week. It was so good. So I have lived off avocado before. And it was one of the best weeks of my life. It was great.
I love it. So much good stuff, Courtney.
So I just hope that we have the festival this year.
Absolutely. If you are listening, please come meet Courtney Uncooked and me, Lexi, at the Woodstock Fruit Festival this year in Diamond Point, New York at the end of August. It changed my life.
Oh, was that your first time going?
It was.
So great. It was so good. It was so good. Yeah. So that's like what I'm praying now is please don't cancel that. Please don't cancel that. Please don't cancel that. Please, please, please. Because yeah, that was probably the best week of my life. I mean, I made, so many friends and so many lifestyle choices. And it was beautiful. So beautiful. And actually the way I found the fruit festival was I had some friends going to Floyd Fest and they wanted me to go. And I was really bummed out because I was looking at the event online. There's a lot of alcohol sponsors and stuff. And I was like, man, they're going to be drinking. I'm not going to be able to drink. And at the bottom of the Floyd Fest Facebook invite, it said, you may be interested in this. And so I clicked on that and I was like, yeah, I'm interested in that. That sounds great. And it was, it's not just eating raw food all week. It was, guys, they see deer outside. It was kayaking and paddle boarding, and they had a pool and a ropes course and go-karts, and they had the festival at a summer camp, at like a summer camp for rich kids. I never went to a summer camp like that, I'm here to tell you. So it was awesome. And I'm just praying, especially after being inside so long, that they don't cancel that and that we get to go to that. Like that would just make my year.
Absolutely. I'm sending all the intentions out to the all of my prayers that will 2020. It will be the 10th anniversary. And if you are thinking about going and you've never gone before, you can use my discount code Fruitful for $100 off. Amazing deal. And literally, like Courtney said, the best week of my life.
Okay, what is the code to use?
Fruitful.
Fruitful. Fruitful.
Boom.
1 L?
1 L.
Okay. Not like full, which has 2 L's, but fruitful. Okay, I got it. Cool.
Yes, totally. So it's been such a pleasure interviewing Courtney. I really, really appreciate all of your time and all your message of love. I would call you Courtney Love, but I think that's already been taken. So we'll call you Courtney Uncooked. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, sexy Lexi. I love you, and I hope I see you at the festival.
I love you, and I will.
And I'll be looking for your recipe in the next hour.
I'm sending it to you right now.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Mwah. Kisses
Thank you.
to everyone.
Thank you for putting up with my crazy dogs.
You're so lovely as well. Everyone have a happy, healthy, dynamic day. Peace out.
Bye.